Hi everyone. So I see on the news more companies are going into bankruptcy, including Del Monte. Del Monte, they make all like the canned fruits, the canned vegetables, and we have them at our grocery store. So with the droughts and everything that's happening in America, here in Canada, fires, I think for those of us who grew up in Zimbabwe, it's important to remember our canning skills. So for me, I have those belly jars that I buy to store my food once I open it. But it's a good time, like if you want, you can do your own canning at home. You just have to buy those jars. And then when the fruits are in season, when you can get them, you can get a recipe and you can download it. And you can make it at home and you can store it. That's what my grandmother used to do. And she used to make even squares with the guava. You can make guava jam, you can make strawberry jam, you can make those squares with the guava. There's a Goan recipe that she used to use. And it's really easy. I mean, I think it's sad that the companies are going bankrupt and closing. But for those of us who have been educated in the home and who grew up with grandparents like my grandparents, and in our home, my mom also learned from my grandmother, you can make these things. So it's not the end of the world. It's sad that the companies are closing and going bankrupt. But the other thing is that fruits and things like that are becoming in short supply because of the droughts. If you look at the oranges, before we used to get the oranges from South Africa, and they were big, they were really huge, but now they're getting smaller and smaller because the rainfall is not as much, so the yield of the crop is not as much. The other thing is that Father Ripika, he had written a book. If I find mine, I'll tell you. I think I've got it. Give me one moment. So, yeah, I've recommended this book before, and when you're going through extreme difficulties, it's deliverance prayers for use by the laity. You should talk to your priest before you start saying these prayers, because if you don't go to church and you don't keep the faith, you might find that things get really, really bad. But this book I had bought in 2018 in August, and in August I started saying the prayers. In October of that year I got my job at Teleperformance, my first permanent job after since 11 years. So there is power in prayer. And then Father Ripika had recommended this book, How to Survive the End of the World as We Know It, and it's by James Wellesley, the founder of survivalblog.com. So it's just talking about, having medications, having personal protection, your livestock. I mean, I think if you grew up in Africa, you have the land around you, but here you don't. But you can make adjustments, you can look at other things that you can do. And, having energy bars, having dried meats. They call it jerky here. Obviously, I can't make the biltong in an apartment, but now you can buy the biltong boxes. So having things like that will also help, because he's been saying for a long time things are going to get really bad because of the sin in the world and because of what people have allowed to happen. And also because the Muslims are very, very hard people. They're very hard on the Christians. And if you are polite to them and nice to them, they say, oh yeah, they're so sweet. So, for most of us, we are not friends. We don't believe in going around beheading people and killing people or having intermarriages, marrying our cousins. We don't believe in all that. So it's important to remember where we are in the world and what our Judeo-Christian religion is about. But I would recommend those books if you want to get them. I do watch the news, and here in Toronto, it's scary. They arrested a man and a woman who were breaking into condos, and they were killing people who they thought were prostitutes or in prostitution rings. I mean, it's scary. They arrested somebody, a woman got killed in Hyde Park, but she went running at 10:40 p.m. at night. I mean, we also have to take precautions, about when we're going running and where we're exercising. In a condo building, yes, it's different. But it's becoming worse and worse as the days go by. So I thought I would mention those books and mention the canning, the fruit canning, the jams you can make. I mean, of course, for us it's convenient because we grew up with being able to buy bottled jams and buy our canned tins of fruit. And some of us have kept a few extra on hand. But if the companies are going to start closing, then we need to bring back our skills that our grandmothers taught us. In places like Zimbabwe, it's very sad. I read Kathy Buckle's newsletter. People are bartering already because the money is worthless, and the money that they're paying out by the time they sell your things may be different from what they were offering you. It's really sad, but I think that's what's going to be coming to the rest of the world. We're going to land up bartering. We're going to land up exchanging a cup of coffee for a cup of sugar because things are just getting really bad. I'm sorry to say it, but they are getting really, really bad. And, for me, I'm trying to get into industries that are growing, professions that are growing, because I don't want to be sitting at home. I really don't. And if you talk to all the young priests that are coming up, all the associates, they all know what happened to me. And they all say, Belinda, you know what? We are enemies. The Muslims and the Christians, we are enemies. We believe there's one God, but the God that they worship is not the God we worship. Because if your hair's long, you're a prostitute. They like to marry women who are older than them because they think that it's some kind of prestige. It isn't. Their religion and our religion do not agree. And even when our popes went to all these Middle Eastern countries, they didn't go there to make friends with them. They went there because women were being persecuted, Christians were being killed, Christians were being persecuted, and they went there to convert and to dialogue. So it's important to remember that. Even in our churches, they're still sending suicide bombers into our churches. They're still kidnapping our women and taking them. Boko Haram and all that. Do we do that to their women? Do we do to the Muslims what they do to us? We don't. Till today, when I go into the stores, the Muslims will say, oh, Eddie was saying she's too sweet. I will give him hell. If I ever see him again, I'll give him hell. I am not too sweet. So don't go around telling the Muslim community I'm too sweet, because I am not. I don't know who's telling them this, and I'm not saying it's him because it's hearsay, but I'm sick of it. And if they take this to the young priests that are coming up, they're going to give them hell. We Christian women are not here to be your prostitutes. And I want to make that very, very clear. My grandmother did not raise me to be a prostitute. The skills that she taught me, I am using in my own home. And I'm a very good homemaker. With the little money that I get, I do so much. I do so much.